Hello everybody, welcome to sinlessTv Prime. I'm Ohene. This is our first post and would like to go down through the history of Ghana. Subscribe if you're new here and turn on the notification icon and like the video as well. Let's begin now. In the early age, Ghana was known as Gold Coast by the colonial masters in 1821 to 1957, which was later changed to Ghana in the year 1957 after independence. Ghana means warrior king, harking back to the Ghana Empire in the 4th century AD, which actually wasn't located in Ghana. Anyway, Ghana is a country about the size of Romania, located in West Africa along the Guinea Gulf, bordered by the Ivory Coast, Burkina Faso, and Togo. Ghana is also one of the 8 countries that passes through the Prime Meridian as well as the Antarctica in the south. Formerly, the country was made up of 10 regions, but in the year 2019, referendum was held which the people voted and accepted the 6 more regions which were proposed by the government, namely the Oti, derived from the Volta Region, Savanna and Northeast from the Northern Region, Ahafo and Bono East from the Brong Ahafo region, and Western North from the Western region, with some interesting sounding capitals like Kumasi, Tamale, and Greater Accra, that's located in the southeast along the coast. The 2 largest airports in the country are the Kotoka International Airport, located in the Greater Accra, and the Kumasi International Airport in Kumasi. Northeast, primarily inhabited by the Moldagbanis. North Central area has the Guan group. The southeast, including the capital, Greater Accra, is dominated by the Ewe and the Gandangbe. The country then you get this huge chunk of the west center in south areas where you can find the famous icon and Ashanti people. Sometimes these areas collectively are referred to as Ashanti. Now, Ghana is a constitutional republic, but nonetheless still kind of technically has a king or decisively regional kings that act more like cultural figureheads rather than governmentally sanctioned legislators. However, these kings still do hold high positions of influence in society. Nonetheless, the most notable and powerful of all these kings would probably be the monarch Ashanti-Hene Nana Otumfuo II. Nana Otumfuo II, who has ruled over the Ashanti land. He lives in the Menchia Palace in the Ashanti capital, Kumasi. Otherwise, other notable landmarks in Ghana might include Elmina Castle, the oldest European building in sub-Saharan Africa, built in 1482, as well as the Cape Coast Castle. Each has a dark history, being used for importing slaves. Kwame Nkrumah Museum with the bronze statue of Dr. Nkrumah, the USSER Fort, Kakum Canopy Walk, Tenzum Shrine, and the Kejetia Market, the largest market in Africa, located in Kumasi. The Black and Red Volta Rivers. The Akosombo Dam, approximately 400 kilometers, which covers 4% of the land, which produces much of the electricity for the entire country, with leftovers exported to neighboring countries for external revenue. The country is divided into 4 geographic terrestrial plains: the coastal Savanna, the Volta Delta, Akan Lowland, the Accra Plains. Basically, the south is wetter and the north is drier, sometimes even the subject to those harmattan winds. In the Mo National Park, you can see animals like elephants, hippos, baboons, crocodiles, and the national animal, the golden eagle. Ghana is also the 2nd largest cocoa producer after the Ivory Coast. Cadbury, the company that makes those diabolically amazing Easter eggs, actually imports 90% of their cocoa from Ghana. Ghana is also noted to be the second largest gold producing country in Africa after South Africa. Gold plays a huge role in Ghana's economy. In fact, that's why the British touted the area as the Gold Coast during the colonial times, due to the high amount of gold reserves found throughout the country, especially in the Ashanti land. This is why you shouldn't be surprised to find more gold materials in Kumasi and the surrounding areas. Of course, agriculture-wise, typical African cash crops and staples like cassava, yams, cotton, rubber, sugar, and palm oil are produced, along with enough the jack of all trade crops can use the fiber in rope twine, crude cloth, paper bag. You can even feed it to your animals and use it as their bedding, kind of like jacks. Of course, the staple dish made out of cassava and plantain powder is called fufu, a starchy substance typically eaten with stew and meats. Just as a little side note, fufu, which goes by many other different names in Africa, like Sadat and Shima. And Kugali is kind of like the staple for many sub-Saharan African countries. It's like what rice is to Asians and bread is to Europeans. Famous national dishes include things like kenke, banku, and jollof rice. Historically, Ghana has dominated its fellow in the mineral extraction-based economy. They really branched out and diversified their business portfolio. In 2011, they gained the title of the world's fastest growing economy. Now Ghana focuses on things like the manufacturing industry, electronics technology, and recently, after an oil reserve was discovered in 2007, the hydrocarbon export sector as well, which supplies over $1.5 billion extra dollars in state revenue, especially why Ghana has one of the lowest unemployment rates in all of Africa, which rates from 6 to 8% annually. Ghana even slated to join the list of options, automobile manufacturing countries, as well as they just launched their own domestic brand, Kotoka. The country also has other amazing natural zones, which include places like the Buzua and Kokrobite Beach, Paga Crocodile Pond, where you can sit on lazy crocodiles, Boabeng Fima Monkey Sanctuary, Wuli and Kentampo Waterfalls, the Umbrella Rock, and Lake Volta. Now, Ghana is only like Africa's training wheel, but as also like Africa's first main sub-Saharan contact to European. In the 15th century, the European established the Elmina settlement, regarded as the first European settlement in the sub-Saharan Africa. Ghana has always been kind of seen as like beacon of democracy in Africa, in which this had to overpower the John Ajekum Kufuor for making the first peaceful democratic transaction since independence in 1957, which also made them the first color Bono sub-Saharan African country to gain independence from the European power. The country is populated about 35 million people and usually scores the topmost democratic, transparent, stable, and safe nations in all of Africa. The country is made up of over 70 different tribes and over 200 different dialects. However, most of them fall under the main 5 ethnic groups, majority belonging to the Ashanti or Akan, making up about half of the population, the Dagbani and Moles around 17%, the Ewes around 14%. The remaining groups belong to the other people like the Gandangbes, the Goma, the Guan, and Bisa, while the remaining 2% are made up of non-Africans and whites. Ghana is also very religious. The majority of the population, about 3/4, is Christian, mostly Protestant and Pentecostal. About 15% are Muslim, and the rest adhere to traditional beliefs. Nonetheless, English is used cross-communication by the majority of the population as it was a former British colony. The most widely spoken native language, though, would have to be various dialects of 3 spoken by the Akan Ashanti people. Some will say that is also mutually intelligible with Fanti and Bono. Gas are from southeast and is said to have originated from Nigeria. Ewe is a language more prevalent and indigenous to Togo and Benin. Mali is spoken in the north, and this language is closely related to other languages. The Ghanaian culture, though, is a lot more than just the Ashanti way. People in the east, for example, are known for being amazing cross-rhythm drummers and performers of dances. The people from the north are also known for their Islamic culture, and they had their own king called Yakubu II, who was killed in the year 2002. Since then, the line of succession has been disputed and yet to be installed. The king had over 30 wives and over 100 children. The Ga-Dangme people are actually found mostly in the capital, Greater Accra, as well as other areas in the southeast. Both men and women are known for being very good boxers. They also known for making coffins. The idea of this coffin started in the year 1950, in which skilled carpenters will custom make a coffin that are designed to carpenter an essence of the deceased person's identity. The Ashanti culturally has the domination role of the history and development of Ghana. Suppose they believe they are descended from the ancient Egyptian and they played a huge role in the Atlantic slave trade, as well as the furious rebellions against the British. They had to fight like 4 wars over the course of 70 years to finally give in. Today known for their gold-rich people, beautiful kente cloth with elaborately designed patterns, of course, the royal family, otherwise, a few customs, Ghanaians for all groups. Never use your left hand to offer a gift or shake someone's hand, as a left hand is considered to be the dirty hand. Many children are named after the day of the week they were born per gender. For example, a boy born on Saturday will be named Kwame, and a girl on Saturday, Ama. On Sundays, expect to find lots of people dressed in their best clothes as it's church day. Ghanaian people include Nkrumah, the first president that led Ghana to independence, while the hero Queen Mother of Ghana, who led a rebellion against the British force in the 19th and the early 20th century. Kofi Annan, the former UN secretary, numerous soccer players like Asamoah Gyan, Michael Essien, Kelvin Prince Boateng, Sule Muntari, and many more. And of course, British actor Idris Elba, whose mother was Ghanaian. Well, now, Ghana may be pretty stable and prosperous. Ghana has some of the oldest recorded history in the sub-Saharan Africa, with roots that extended beyond the continent. First of all, like other regionally distinct nations, Ghana's people group have historically had alliances with other neighboring countries. They have strong ties to Togo. The Gombas in the north love Burkina Faso and the Ashanti. We are always in touch with the similar Kul language speaking people of Eastern Ivory Coast, just like many other post-colonial states. Ghana still maintains close ties to the UK and almost immediately after independence, set up agreements and policies that encouraged the mutual relations. The UK has the largest community of Ghanaians in the world, followed by the New York and the USA, who also has close ties to Ghana, as the East Coast is saturated with Ghanaian communities. Ghana and Nigeria share deep bond that historically tied them for centuries, although they have a heated rivalry in almost everything, be it music, soccer, or who the best jollof. In conclusion, Ghana is like one of the sub-Saharan African countries that transcends beauty out of its dark ages and maintain its regional cultures in the stabilized economy. Always keep the thing of royal African charm. Thank you very much. Thank you for spending your time with us to discover the history of Ghana. Subscribe if you haven't, click the like button, and also your comments are welcome. I'm Ohene. See you on our next post.